Okay, have you ever wondered how to patch an EC2 instance that are running inside your auto scaling group? A lot of engineers worry that once they reboot an instance, after patching, auto scaling group will immediately sees it as unhealthy and will terminate it. In reality, a reboot is usually not the problem. The real challenge is making sure the maintenance is controlled and predictable. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I patch an EC2 instance in an auto scaling group using AWS System Manager. Okay, so let's begin. So in this console that we see here, okay, we have these three EC2 instances. Two of them is running Windows Server 2019, and the other one is an Ubuntu. Okay, to give you a perspective, so this is what we have in the AWS console. A two Windows Server 2019 running inside a private subnet, and they are in an auto scaling group, and in front of it they have an application load balancer that's route to the internet. So basically, let me make some changes. So this is what we have in the application load balancer. Okay, so it's basically a simple IISS service running on Windows Server 2019. Okay, so basically, if you like me and you look at all these numbers and you have no idea what's inside, then you lazy to click. So this is what I have. I normally will just run a AWS CLI command shell to pull the information that I want. Okay, so before I let it run, I'm gonna change the instance ID. Okay, then I'm gonna paste it. Okay, enter. You can't see much because my head is blocking it. But basically, we have a Linux. This is all the RPMs that's missing. And we have a Windows Server 2019. And these are the KBs that's missing. Okay, so now we know what is missing. Let's move on to this. So we have these two EC2 instances that's running inside the ASG. And we have an application load balancer that's hosting these two. So when I want to patch a EC2 instance in ASG, right, in my mind I was thinking, okay, let's say we patch and there's a reboot. Will it go unhealthy? Actually, no, because let me show you. Let's look at B, okay. So if I were to do a reboot, will it cause the EC2 instance inside the ASG to terminate? Let's look at it. Let's refresh. Okay, still healthy. Let's look at screenshot. Okay, so is it still healthy? Is the load balancer still healthy? Good. So I'm gonna refresh this again. Okay, it's working. So right now, a reboot doesn't cause it to be unhealthy unless the reboot takes longer than usual. So I'm gonna show you my understanding of how to patch an EC2 instance. So actually AWS offer a few SSM documents that you can use. Okay, so we're gonna type the keyword ASG and it should pop up a few stuff. Okay, good. So we have ASG enter standby, ASG exit standby, and ASG patch ASG. So basically we're gonna use this. And the reason why, because in an EC2 instance, if you want predictable control outcome, you need to make sure that this lifecycle goes into standby mode. Else it will terminate this EC2 instance and reboot and create a new one. Okay. Else, you can change this instance lifecycle policy from terminate to retain. It will just, if let's say there's a reboot and it takes longer than usual, it will not terminate this EC2 instance, but it will spin up a new one to cater to this desired capacity. Okay, so let's look at the content. Okay, so what we have right now is we have these parameters, and you basically, to track the progress of the the EC2, it will update the tag with this in progress. Then after that, it will go into this standby using Lambda, which I already created, and it will run the run patch baseline. And after that, it will exit the standby and you update the patch group to show that it is completed. At this moment, I don't understand what this is. Basically, I think there's a loop going on. But let me execute this. Okay, so I'm gonna, oh yeah, so there's a reboot. 5 minutes. Wait for the next instance to come online, 2 minutes. So I'm gonna choose 1B. Then I'm gonna go into the IAM row. Okay, I already created one here. I'm gonna copy the ARN. I'm gonna paste this. Then I already have a SM automation row running. I'm gonna click this and just do one last check. Okay, good. So I'm gonna execute. Then what it does is it will create a patch, update the text in the EC2 instance. Let's take a look. Is it this one? Or is it the other one? Okay, yep. So it's in progress. Then after that, the next step is you will enter standby, and what it does is it will create a CFN template that will trigger the Lambda function. Yeah. So if you are having issues here whereby it says it fails or what, you just look at your CFN stack and see what Lambda function that you're missing. Then after that, let's look at the ASG. Is it on standby? Let's refresh this. Yep, it's on standby. Okay, so while this is patching, let's explore further and see whether we can look at more details. Okay, so right now we are in the EC2 instance that is being patched. To show you what's going on, so we have this running is install missing OS, and deep down inside is actually running a SSM doc called run patch baseline. Yeah, so when a run patch baseline is being triggered, there's actually a PowerShell script that they are running, and this is very important because I want to show you another thing in mind. So normally when a PowerShell script is running, that means that this run patch baseline is active. Okay, wait. Yeah. Okay. And what I'm gonna do is, let's say during patching, you find that hey, it's taking more than 1 hour, and you are missing. Let's say you have a downtime and it's taking more than 1 hour, and you want to increase the instance type. So what you can do is AWS also has you covered. So basically we have this. Okay, so basically AWS have this SSM doc. It basically scales up the EC2 instance from one type to another type, and I think there's a large. Let's take a look what's available. T3 dot. Okay, the next one it will be large then. So maybe we use this. Okay, so I'm gonna run this. Okay, remember that there's a PowerShell script that is running. Let's get win event setup. Okay, so it's being changed to install. So let's take a look at more information. Okay, so it is extracting right now. So in my mind, I was thinking, hey, it's super slow. Will it interrupt the installation process? Yes, it does. It does interrupt. Why? Let's remember this one. Okay, so basically there's a PowerShell script that's running to install the packages, but if there's a reboot, all this process will get interrupted. Okay, so I'm gonna interrupt it because I feel that this EC2 instance is too slow, so I'm gonna scale it up. Okay, so I'm gonna run this. Okay, while it's being run, let's see whether will we get interrupted. Okay, so shutting down, pre-shutdown. So it actually gets interrupted. Shutdown in progress. Let's run the PowerShell script again. Okay, it's still running. Still running. It has to validate. Okay, so let's take a look and refresh. So it's stopping. And let's wait.